So today's video in our file management series, we're going to be looking at cloud services and more specifically Microsoft 365 OneDrive. Now OneDrive is one of these great services that synchronize your documents, which means that you can now access them anytime, anywhere and from any device. So let's jump on a PC and take a look. So welcome back to our third video in our file management series, and today what we're going to be talking about is how to keep those files secure by utilizing the cloud. Now the cloud is this wonderful place where we can store documents and pictures up in the cloud and have them accessible on multiple devices. And in this modern day, this is the way things are done. Now, depending on what platform you're using, they all have their own different cloud solutions. So with Microsoft, you've got OneDrive. With Apple, you've got iCloud. With Google, you've got Google Drive. And these are all valid cloud solutions. However, we are using a Windows PC, and today we're going to be talking about how you use OneDrive to synchronize your files. Now, if you have got a Microsoft 365 subscription, you will get a terabyte of cloud storage, and all those documents that you store on your PC will be synchronized into the cloud. However, don't panic, because if you don't have a Microsoft 365 subscription, you do get 5 gigabytes of free space with your Microsoft account. Now, this won't be enough, of course, to store all your holiday photographs, but it'll be enough to give you a start and hopefully a taster to what Microsoft 365 and OneDrive can do for you. So let's see how that works with our pictures that we've uploaded onto our computer. Now, if we take a look, you can see here that here's the photographs we took and we've uploaded into our Spain 2024 holidays folder. Now, if you take a look closely, what you can see here is you've got this green tick and a hollow green circle. Now, what this basically means is that these are files that are available in the cloud, but at some point I have downloaded them to my machine. As you saw in the previous video, I copied the photographs from a folder on my desktop into my pictures folder, which is automatically synced into OneDrive. So that means that the pictures are available on my PC, but are also stored in the cloud. Now, if there was ever a reason that I needed to be able to have those files available on my machine, no matter whether I have internet connection or not, what I can do is I can right click on it and choose to keep on my machine. So if I right click on this folder that says family and go down to always keep on this device, you'll see that that tick will now turn to a solid green circle with a white tick. And what that basically means is I've got those photographs downloaded to my machine, and they will be on my machine no matter if I have internet connection or not. So where that comes useful is say for example you're working on a whole bunch of documents, some files, and you want to be able to use them when you have no internet connection at all. You could be in the middle of the rainforest, you could be going on a train where the internet connection is intermittent. You could be somewhere where you just basically don't have an internet connection, but you want to work on a bunch of files that you're storing in your cloud service. Now with OneDrive, it's got a great feature that allows you to then keep that file on your desktop no matter whether you've got internet connection or not. But what if you've got a device that's got not a lot of storage? So what do you do then? Well, that's quite easy. If you right click the folder or file that you're using and say free up space, what that will actually do now is it will remove the file from your local computer, but it's of course still available in the cloud. And then you get this cloud symbol. Now, if I go into the folder, you'll see that every single one of the photographs in that folder, even though I can see them, are only stored in the cloud. I'm looking at what's known as a thumbnail, a representation of the document on my computer, and it will not come back down to my computer until I try and open it. So when I open the picture, it downloads it and I can now see the picture. So I'm now looking at the photograph here. Then you'll see it will go back to that green circle tick, and it's now effectively downloaded to my machine. So that's how you manage those files and have access to those files. So I can right click it, I can choose to free up space, and it effectively deletes it off my machine and leaves it in the cloud. It's still available, I can access it anytime as long as I've got an internet connection. So that's a great way of managing your files. But one of the things that we've got to be very careful of is that with any cloud service, it's designed to be synchronous, and that basically means that whatever I do on my computer will be replicated in the cloud. So for example, if I choose to delete a load of photographs or a load of documents, they will also be deleted in the cloud. Now with Microsoft 365 and OneDrive, they do have a retention policy to cater for this, so that if you do accidentally delete a bunch of files or folders, they are retained for about 30 days, I believe, and you can go back into your OneDrive in the cloud and you can use the recycle bin facility to retrieve them back. So not all is lost, but it's a really great way of keeping your files both in the cloud and on your computer. You've got the opportunity to govern what files you keep on your machine and what files you don't. However, there is a much better way of managing that altogether. So what do you do, for example, if you've got a whole bunch of photographs that you don't actually want to be accessible at all? Then you use your OneDrive service as an archive service. And what that means is that you would create a folder that is basically an archive folder. You would drag all your documents into that archive folder, and then you will say, I don't want that folder synchronized on my machine whatsoever. And the way I explain that to my customers is, think of it like taking your wedding photographs. When you get your wedding photographs, in the first few months, you will go out and you'll show all your friends and your family all the lovely photographs, and at some point they're not going to want to see them anymore. So what do you do with those photographs? You put them in a lovely album, you put them in a lovely box, you cover it in cellophane, and you stick it in the loft. You know where the pictures are, they're in the loft, but they're just not accessible. This is what I call archiving. So you're putting your pictures up in the cloud, they're there, you know where they are, you can get to them, but they're just not synchronized to your computer. And this is a great way of keeping your files even more secure, because they're in the cloud, they're only accessible in the cloud, they're in the loft, completely safe. You don't have this added level of nervousness of accidentally deleting those files. And the way that we do this is that we would go into our OneDrive folder and we would create an archive folder in OneDrive itself. And then what we do is we will move our pictures into here, and then what we would do is we'll go into the OneDrive settings and turn around and say don't synchronize. So we bring our OneDrive settings up, and I'll just bring that onto the screen for you right now. And then we go into the, we choose the account tab, and then we go into choose folders. So here's my OneDrive, I'm going to go choose folders, and in my choose folders I have got my little archive folder here. You can see it's there, this is where I put all my archives. And basically what I need to do is untick that box. So I'm going to untick that box, and basically what I'm saying is do not synchronize this folder. Okay, I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to close that down. So if we now go and have a look in my OneDrive space, you can see there is, at the moment, there is no archive folder. If, however, I go back into my settings and bring them up again, so if I go back in my settings, I'll bring that back and go choose folders, let's bring that back on the screen as well, and I tick the archive folder and click OK, you can see that my archive folder has reappeared. Now if I go into OneDrive on the web, you'll see that archive folder, you'll see it's there, but they're not synchronized to your computer and to your devices. So there you go. So that's a nice little neat trick that you can do to keep your files and your pictures separated from your synchronized files to your non-synchronized files. And they're just a simple way of archiving your files that you don't want on your desktop or laptop computer. So there you go, there is your top tip for today on how to synchronize your pictures and your files into the cloud using your cloud service, in this case Microsoft 365 OneDrive. So if you've liked that video, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. So my name's Rob from RLS Computer Services. I hope you've enjoyed that video. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.